Today's video is going to show you several small steps. One is overwriting the grades if you don't like the grade value that's been averaged out. Then we'll show you how to override that grade. The second is how to fix grades to make sure they're reporting properly. And then the last step is finalizing grades in each of the courses. So we're going to start out with some common problems that we're seeing. So I'm going to go ahead and look at this assignment right here and go to edit the assignment. I see that we have the traditional grade counted. This needs to be checked. And then over here to the standards tab, there are no standards linked to this assignment. It then would not report anything on the report card. Another thing that we're seeing is a lot of people that haven't had this box checked. This has to be checked on everything. So to add standards, I'm going to go back over here and click Show All. I know that this particular assignment is in operations and algebraic functions. So I'm going to go down here. First, I'm going to check the parent standard for that. And I also know it's using array, so I'm going to check this standard right here. So those two are now checked. I'll hit Save and Close. And when I go to Score Assignment, you'll see that these are popping up. Now, to check and see if it's going to report appropriately on the report card and to do any overrides that I may need to do later on, I'm going to go over here to the A+ grading. I'm going to go down here to Standards Grades. And then I'm going to look. And I'm going to scroll over to where it says Operations. And there it is. So it worked doing it after the fact. Sometimes it does not work after the fact. So you may have to go in here and enter the grade. This operations and algebraic functions, this is the parent standard. Just like in the others, because you can scroll through and you can see all the other parent standards. So you have measurement and data. So these are all child standards until I get just to the MD part. And so when I get all the way over here, I'll see MD. It's all by itself, nothing after the MD. For measurement and data, I can go in here, and if I want to, I can add a score. So I can say that student's a 3. Let's say all my students were a 3, or most of them were a 3. I can add that, and then go in and change one at a time and say this student was a 2.5, and maybe this student was a 4, and maybe this student I didn't have any information on, they weren't present that day. When I'm done, I just hit save, and I've created this. So one of the ways to check to make sure something's going to report on the report card is, again, if we come here to the standards grades table, and I look at each of the parent standards that I've graded. So right here, if there are numbers in here, this is what will report. This is what gets averaged when we average all of the grades of the children together. This is what averages. If I want to override it, same thing. I can go in and I can click on any one of these standards and I say this student is actually a 2.5. I've overridden it. I have to save it at the end. So you can use the score inspector and you can override any of the grades you want to override. I can go through and do that for any of the parent standards. And then the last step, when you're done and you've checked all of these parent standards across this standards table in the standards grades, I can go to final grade status, this little box down here. If I click on that, I don't have to put any comments. This is just for the secretaries. But I can go right here and say my final grades for this course are complete. I check that box and I hit save. I do that for each of my courses. You don't have to override grades if you don't want to, but you just need to go in here for each of your courses for homeroom, English, math, science, and history. Click that final grade status, grades are complete for T1, and hit save. That'll tell us at the district office that you are done with your grade book, and we will harvest the grades and make a report card. That's all there is to overriding grades, checking to make sure that your report will report properly, and then finalizing grades. Have a great day.